7. May could barely keep her eyes open, so I carried her with her head resting over my left shoulder. Her right leg was behind my left hip, with her left leg straddled across my right hip. I felt someone pat me behind my right shoulder. "Well, little bro, I was sure for a while there that Dad would make you sleep outside tonight." I saw that Cain was giving Kali a ride on his back as he caught up to me. "And maybe even that he might hit you hard enough to leave a bruise." "But you asked some interesting questions, and I like how you can keep Mom and Dad talking more about Father God and Eden, so they spend less time fighting or talking about my, He glanced down awkwardly. I laughed and nodded. "As funny as it is to hear about what your butt and your seed-sowing parts were like when you were a baby, I would much rather have our Shabbat Campfire sessions be places where we could hear more about Father God and Eden and enjoy peaceful family time together, singing and praising. That's what gets me through the rest of the week." "Me too," Cain smiled. "And sometimes I can kind of feel something that I can't explain in any other way, but especially during those moments when we sing and praise Father God together as one family. Yes," my eyes went wide, "I feel a sort of presence. But it's a very comforting and loving presence. Is that when Father God is close by?" Cain gasped, but smiled. "You feel it too, little bro?" I was slightly worried that I was the only one, or that there was something wrong with me to notice that. I smiled at my brother. "How do you know that there's not something right with you because you feel that? Are you sure there's not something wrong with anyone who can't feel it?" Cain chuckled again. "There you go, asking the deep thought questions again." "Maybe our parents could hear Father God's voice at one time," I speculated, "but it becomes harder to hear him when they are too busy fighting to listen," or I glanced over at Cain. "Please don't take this the wrong way, big bro, but when our Shabbat campfires become more about you or about any of us kids rather than about Father God..." I wouldn't want to say something like that in front of our parents, and wasn't even sure how Cain would handle it. But he actually nodded in agreement with me. Maybe I should take this inside. He actually nodded in agreement with me. "I hear you, little bro. Might be all fun and games at first to hear my birth story, especially tying into the whole promise. But when the conversation starts drifting below my waistline, yeah, it's no longer fun." Kali rubbed her forehead at the spot where Dad gave her a finger flick. "It's no longer fun for the rest of us either." "You got that right," May interjected, still with her characteristic loud volume, but sounding sleepier than her usual excitement. I thought she was already asleep. "That's going to make me need to pee."